Hello everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome back. Let's play Reich as the good old Republic of India. So last time, the jihadists were able to secure their position in the Republic, so they will be remaining as the dominating force in the country. And we're currently getting leader of the unrevealed world, which will allow us to end colonialism, or at least try our best to do so. So what we're going to be doing is the Asia Bureau first, primarily because, hey, China is a big nation. It's on our border. We want to try to stabilize them a little bit so that we can maybe see the CPC take over, which is down all the way to the very, very bottom. We're still at stage 0, but I'm sure eventually we can maybe get to stage 1. We do need to get to stage 4 for the war to actually begin, but I believe in our ability to do so. It might just take a while, though. Aside from that, volunteers to the Congo, I honestly don't think that's really going to be worthwhile. As nice as it would be to beat back the Belgians. But it's what, like 80 political power? Like 80, yeah, 80, 50. It's pretty expensive. So we'll have to kind of wait and see, because our political power gain, it's not very good. 0.85 is not where we want to be. Border clash is in the Kalpani Basin. Concerning dispatches have come out of the border with Nepal, as it appears that Nepalese border guards recently opened fire on Indian troops in the Kalabari Basin. A few of those soldiers were injured, and they returned fire, killing 2 Nepalese soldiers. Since then, fighting has only continued in the region. The Rana dynasty, apparently not having enough with the blood of its own people, now see fit to take on India as well. They would be wise to realize now they have made a serious mistake. One that they cannot soon recover from. So it's going to start a border war between Karnali and Delhi, which is fine. We'll get some troops over there. 6th Division to automatically deploy. It has been a while since I've actually looked at the border conflict little mini game here, but we should have the troops necessary. They're all can I have them strategically mobilize? No, unfortunately not. They'd have to slowly walk over there. But that is fine. Influence Cambodia, I don't think it's going to be really necessary. How are volunteers doing in Iran? I think I want to pull you back 1 province, and I want these 2. I mean, unfortunately, there is like a German tank division here. I wish they were not there. But if we can like take this province, I mean, what if we move our way up to take Shiraz instead? Like, what if we go here and then around? Because if we can get an encirclement and capture this port, I mean, we're not really pushing into the national government's territory yet, but we can at least take back some of the constitutional government's territory, which I think would be worthwhile. We'll see how that goes. Indian government donations. It costs 25. You have 5 points right now. Japan has renounced her right to war. So that's what Article 51, Article 13. I don't remember what the exact article is in India. Okay. The Maldives request medical assistance. 5 political power. Indian medical team. You know what? Sure, we'll send them to the Maldives. So the Maldives, are they in anybody's sphere of influence right now? Aren't they in the Commonwealth? Yeah, they're a member of the Toronto Accord right now. They're actually a puppet of the British. I would like to get the Maldives out of the British sphere if possible, you know, at some point in the future. India's position in the world. Just as Spartacus led the slaves in their uprising against the Roman oppressors, it rests on us to lead the unfree, the colonized and the subjugated, in a great anti-imperialist struggle of liberation throughout the world. Many of those who claim to lead the free world, namely the Americans and the British, but just have they championed their cause of bourgeois democracy, we serve in defense of those who are bound by chains. Freed from 2 centuries of occupation and humiliation, the Indian people stand shoulder to shoulder with the still under the oppressive yoke of colonialism. However, beyond these broad strokes of our anti-colonial foreign policy, many civic issues remain to be decided on. How should we approach the Western Bloc in particular? How should we work with the collapsed remnants of our former ally, Soviet Union? And is there a place for dialogue with the Germans in Europe? These and other issues will be debated, and a solid foreign policy direction shall be decided on. Okay, so we're going to create a faction, the International Compact for Mutual Aid. We're going to get 100 political power. And following a recent declaration, the Indian government has announced a formation of an International Compact for Mutual Aid, an alliance formed to aid different countries in their struggle against imperialism. In his opening speech, Subhas Chandra Bose proclaimed that this alliance is non-ideological and welcomes all nations that have suffered the perils of colonialism. Although the Chinese foreign minister has made a statement denouncing India's move as an apparent socialist agitation aimed at destabilizing Asia. So we have now our alliance. One second, there's actually a little pop-up on my screen. You can't see, but we'll get rid of that. Hey, so we now have our own alliance. And I do want to, before we focus more on getting our political tree done, I want to go for the Asian beater. I want to see what else we can do here. And we did get 100 political power as well. We're going to get another 150 off of you, which is kind of crazy. We're going to do a donation here, and then we're going to do our own donation. Gets us about the 30. Urban agitation, peasant agitation, we'll get that going. And for the rest of you, what about like Baluchistan? Do we want to do anything there? I mean, right now they're at 0. That's 70 points. You know what? Sure, fuck it. Why not? Baluchistan, I will try to be your friends. I want you to come over here to assist in this fight. Yes. I want you here to assist. Excellent. Yeah, we can go take Shiraz, make our way down towards the port. Why do you not have a general? New Line sympathizers, CBC military delegate. We're not going to put you in charge of this group for now, but maybe some point in the future. Excavation 1. You know, let's go for military construction as well. Let's get that going. And you're at 91, looking good. Wait, the British are down here? Britain, I didn't know you were like that. Okay. When will you be in this province? You'll be there in 5 days, 1 hour. We will be there in 21 hours, so definitely need Shiraz first. And it allows us, hopefully, again, to get that encirclement. That's really, really what I'm looking for, is that encirclement. Okay, we have our extra divisions moving into this region. I don't know if war with Nepal is going to break out immediately, but I'm not saying that is impossible. Okay, we got more reinforcements here. You might get pushed back, unfortunately. Bit of a shame. 62, 65. I mean, it's really a German tank that is a pain in the ass here, which is not a surprise. We don't really have that much in terms of armor support. I mean, I do see that the British have sent some tanks in, which is nice. Smoke in the water, fire in the sky. As a result of the border clash with Nepalese troops, Indian troops launched a temporary incursion into some villages near the border, in an effort to gain intel regarding the region. What was discovered was nothing short of horrific. According to the captured policemen, more than 2,000 peaceful protesters have been killed by the Rana dynasty since November of 1950. Our government's public reveal of this information has brought widespread outcry from the public, and protests in favor of intervention in Nepal has reached a peak. If we do not stop the Ramas now, many thousands could die. There is no option but to back up these protesters and bring into power a newer, friendlier government. One that is not just pro-Indian, but pro-Nepalese. Now, I don't know when we'll be able to actually invade. Is that in here somewhere? Two tigers face off. Sino-Indian relations, Arabian Nights, that's going to deal with stuff in the Middle East. Thing is, we do need to figure out a China plan as quickly as possible. That does seem to be, you know, top priority here. I mean, revolutionary fervor is also like a little... Ooh, 1 research slot. Allows us to undertake decisions relating to controlling and eroding malaria. That sounds good. And actually, it's going to give us 150. It costs 150. You give us 150. So that'll immediately allow us to pay that off. And getting up to 3 research slots, that's a 50% increase, my friends. 50%. The Financial Expert by R.K. Narayan is set in the town of Mulgudi, a fictional setting commonly used by this author, somewhere in the region of Karnataka, southwest India. Our protagonist, or more of an anti-hero than one with good morals, however, is that of Magaria. Magaria is a banker and fortune teller, where under his banyan tree, he offers advice and money lending to the residents of Mulgudi. The theme, as one could predict, is centered around greed and the lust for wealth. The story ends with Magaria being swarmed with a mob for those that he had scammed, and being forced to recede all of the wealth that he obtained. Magaria is not written as a devious criminal. In fact, some reviews of this piece suggest that his aspects of greed were humanized rather than the implied strictly to criticize. The trope, House of Cards falling down, is rather common in other places in the world. However, Narayan has brought it to India with localized settings. The novel, alongside many others, were published in English and brought to worldwide audiences. Okay. Now, we're getting pushed back, unfortunately, a second time here. Can I push into you? Again, I really just want to take this port. The Independent Socialist Republic of Arakan has declared war on the Union of Burma. So that is another socialist ally. But Burma, I mean, again, it's still in a bit of a weird spot, because Burma is friendly with us. So I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to do. But I mean, again, we're not like Trotskyist. Like, there's the Greek Civil War. You know, like, the guy down here, they're Trotskyist. We're not. We are, well, we're Subhadist, but I'm pretty sure, like, we were somewhat aligned with the ideology of Stalin. Just based on, where is it here? One of our events, one of our decisions, one of the focuses, I should say. University agitation. Thanks for our connection, recent university protests in China have been success. Hey, let's go. Excellent. Excellent. And Greece is in a civil war between the communists and the fascists. Like, of course, we do support the communists in their endeavor. We'll see how that goes, though. So we're at 60, so we're going to take you and you. Meeting with the Belisana. I think this is the same event we had last time, so we'll pause that for now. And again, it is slowly going towards the Congress Working Committee, which I do think has better modifiers than strictly... Actually, we'll keep these guys as well. They will... They're going to stay over here. It does have better modifiers than having a strong chairman, at least from what I can kind of tell. I don't want to push in this way right now. Lukov has maintained power in Bulgaria. I mean, it's not too surprising. Like, we kind of expect that, that the fascist control over Europe, at least for right now, is still going to be very, very strong. And being India, we don't really care too much about what happens in Europe. That's more of an American problem. But we'll see. The tiger and the dragon. Asia is a great part of the world, but one that has long been oppressed by Western imperialism. Despite the victories against colonial rule, the fight for a home reach is not over, and new conflicts are arising. Outposts of colonial empires remain, while the Anglo-American bloc attempts to transform the old methods of colonial rule into a new informal Western hegemony. Perhaps most importantly, the Chinese, the other great superstate in Asia outside of ourselves, have abandoned their commitment to collective anti-colonial liberation and have doubled down under their reactionary anti-communist regime. The Chinese regime has acted with increased aggression, intervening in other Asian nations and pressing its extensive claims. It is likely developments in Asia in the near future will be dominated by the affairs and possible some sort of conflict between ourselves and China. With renewed funding and focus, the Asian Bureau of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will have its work cut out for it on responding to the continued issues of the region and advancing our security and interest. Okay. So yeah, I think we want to immediately go for the two tigers facing off. Then go for Hangman Theory. And then after that, we can't take you into do All Eyes in Malaya. How's Malaya actually doing right now? You know, I think actually we do want to rush our way there so that we can support Malaya against the British. And having an ally in the region, I think, would be worthwhile. So we'll go straight for Tame the Dragon. I doubt that we'll be able to swing Japan into a communist state. But the JCP is fairly powerful. The War of Malaria. I mean, that sounds good. We'll get that going. Is fairly influential. Like, it's actually one of the bigger parties in Japan even today. So we'll see kind of if we can get anything done regarding them. You know, we'll even go for one level excavation. I don't know how much, what do we have in our country right now? We have a lot of tungsten. I mean, we're not really exporting it to anybody, but I'm sure somebody somewhere one day might want our beautiful, beautiful tungsten. I mean, and how could you not? Tungsten is a beautiful metal. It's like pointy. It's got like a little spiral. You ever seen Gurren Lagann? It's got like the spiral. That's a thing, right? The spirals, the anti-spirals. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there. I still like no guns, huh? Still a 32-day shortage. Are we like we make 19 guns per day with 4 factories? Lavelle has been arrested and executed. That is here. Lavelle plummeted. France? Okay. I mean, I know the name sounds French, but I just wanted to make sure. Build some military factories here, and then we'll build some in Gujarat. Sounds good to me. Anything here? More war on malaria. I mean, defeating malaria does sound nice. I don't know how we can tell. Extremely hot rain. What state is this in? This is in Chittagong. And I'm assuming that's probably somewhere up north. But I don't... Hey, there it is. Mud. Malaria outbreak. Okay, so it's a tiny little mosquito. Basically everywhere actually has a bit of a malaria issue. Hey, and Nepal has broken out into civil war. We got the Social Democrats against the dictatorship here. And then Nepalese Civil War. Today, startling news has come out of the secluded Himalayas. It appears that a month-long crisis between the Nepalese government and the monarchy has come to a head, as King Trivavin has been exiled in India, has called on his people to violently rise up against the Rana dynasty, which controls the government. There are already apparently dozens of deaths in the capital of Kathmandu, and Indian troops have reportedly crossed the border to support the rebels. China and the United Kingdom have both issued diplomatic notes condemning India's reported intervention as illegal under international law, and has called for negotiation to hold free and fair election in Nepal. Rana Destiny has resisted any calls to negotiate, and the war threatens to escalate into a wider diplomatic crisis between India and China. The liberation of Nepal is coming. So we can now send in some volunteers. Excellent. How many troops can we send in? We can send in 2. So let's send in these 2 bad boys. This guy is the Ball of Fire Division. So I'm feeling pretty bullish about him. And you know what? We'll send in Chen here. Send those guys in. No air wings. That's fine. And I guess U6. You can go back to Blue Army for now. So I'm assuming the border crisis probably is not going to continue on. Okay, there is... Sweden's been elected under Social Democrat. That's okay. When will our troops actually arrive? They'll be there on the 6th of October. And I'm ready. I don't know how many troops you guys have. 1 to 3 versus 1 to 3. So even having even a handful more troops would kind of swing this in our favor. Now, unfortunately, we can't bomb them, as nice as that would be. But we'll try. We'll try our best. And then, of course, we want to send troops over to a coup in Perm. Okay. So who's in charge of the old Soviet Union now? Right now, it is the Emergency Committee. We'll see who ends up taking power in the, what was called the Soviet Union. Just makes things a little bit simpler. And these 2 divisions, okay, we want to go to Kathmandu. Now, unfortunately, you know, it is the Himalayas. It's full of mountains. I don't know if you know this or not. There's a lot of mountains in the Himalayas. In the French Civil War. Okay. We've got the French government in exile versus the French state. French admin in Algeria. These guys have risen up as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Germans directly intervene. I mean, it's a civil war on their border between their puppet state. Turnik in the USSR. Leadership change has occurred in Perm. So who is in charge? It is Ivan Turnik, who is former partisan and leader of the Young Guard. Ivan Turnik fought against the German authorities occupying Krasnodar. During a few years, he successfully performed a hit-and-run raids against German patrols. Okay. Now leader of the Soviet Union can realize his plan of bringing Mikhail Kailin's dreams. We'll see how that goes for him. Because, again, we need to decide for ourselves. It's going to be a little bit later. About which government we want to support. Because there's a legitimate government in Perm. There is also the Republic of Novosibirsk. Or we side with the Krasnoyarsk. So basically, you know, 1, 2, or 3. One of them is led by Zhukov. One of them is led by Bolshansky. And one of them is led by Chernik. I'm leaning towards just recognizing the Perm government. They do seem to be the most powerful one. And the one that'll... let's see, what are their ideologies? Canalism is revolutionary communist. You are Marxist and Leninist. And then you were just socialist. I mean, we are revolutionary communists. So again, we're most aligned with the Perm government. We're not a Marxist-Leninist state. Yeah, Isomalaya. We want to make sure we can support those guys. And crisis in the Comoros. Political turmoil on the island nation of Comoros began with France's descent into civil war. But while those in power were agreed on a movement towards independence, the completion of that move has not ended with instability. With a sudden power vacuum in a newly independent state, different factions began vying for control. The leading faction under Ahmed Abdallah is seeking to maintain his grip on power and safeguard Comoros' complete independence. He is being challenged by 2 other groups. One is the Democratic Reformists under the White Party and their leader Syed Ibrahim Ben Ali, backed by the Toronto Accord. Another are the Socialist Green Party, led by Syed Mohammed Sheikh, and backed by India. It remains to be seen who will ultimately take power in the current political crisis and how the independent country will align itself on the world stage. What is for sure is that is that the affirmation the great powers in the region will attempt to use their influence to sway the new country into their orbit. It actually swings us straight over there. The Comoros, of course, we want to support the Green Party if possible. Secure more donations, and then we'll do even more peasant agitation. Current influence is at 4.6. We're happy to see it. And right now, we're 33, 33, and 34. Immediately provide them some financial assistance. Okay. If anyone gets more than 50%, there'll be automatic victory. Then material support, we don't have guns. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind having them on side. Comoros would make a decent naval base. A decent area to project power into southern Africa. If we can secure it. But I will say, at least right now, war in Nepal. Tensions brewing with the Chinese. And a new, not crisis, but, you know, developments in Comoros. And this will be a good time for us to end this episode. If you have enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoyed, thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe. And goodbye.